Hey everyone, and happy Thursday. Hope everyone's doing well. Been an interesting week so far. We're almost toward the end, and the holidays coming very quickly. So not a whole lot of time left together for the rest of this year. But as crazy as 2021 is or 2020 has been, I think 2021 can only get better, right? At least we can hope so. So hope I didn't just jinx it. But yeah, I think it's going to be great. So. Thank you to everyone for yesterday's discussion on the continued discussion about race. We had some great discussions. I appreciate everyone who participated and listened and offered your ideas. And even if you didn't say or say anything or didn't even participate, just by listening and taking it all in and trying to understand some of the thoughts and ideas of others, it's very, very commendable. So thank you, everybody who was able to attend yesterday. Just a quick reminder, as we talked about yesterday, kind of want to start our own little page of DEI resources that's just unique for our office. So if anybody has any YouTube videos or articles or books that you recommend or movies that you recommend, I would love it if everybody in System HR can just send me one thing, hopefully by next Friday, so I can kind of get everything compiled together. Send me one thing that you would like to see included if we put it on our website, a list of all of our, things, whether it's about being an ally, something on racism, something on sexism, anything you can think of, articles, videos, books, magazines, whatever it is. If you could just send me one thing that you appreciate or something that you've read or seen that you really enjoyed, I would love to have it so that we can include everybody in the system office. That way it belongs to all of us. It's not just something that we're doing, willy-nilly. This is something that we all believe in, something we both feel strongly about, and it represents all of us. So for today's talk, I kind of wanted to continue just briefly a little bit of what we were talking about yesterday. Towards the end, we were talking about different things that we can do to support. With the holidays coming up, we may encounter people who make racist jokes, or we may encounter people who have racist family members. So what can we do? How can we be supportive? Again, if somebody makes a racist joke, obviously, that creates a lot of emotion for a lot of reasons. And for a lot of us, the goal, we don't want to necessarily have to, quote, kick somebody out of our lives. Sometimes you may have to get, if it's a really serious issue, you may never want to associate with that person again, which is understandable. But, I think, our best goal is if somebody, makes an inappropriate comment or joke, trying to educate them and helping them to understand the issues, I think would be the preferred approach. That way we can maintain a relationship and help them learn and teach them and guide them so that they really understand, have the feelings that we feel and that we hold dear. So, a couple of things to kind of look at, going back to that we talked before about being an ally and being somebody who supports, other things and tries to be our can to eliminate racism and sexism and religious discrimination. One of the things that we mentioned yesterday that I thought was excellent was we need to stop thinking of ally as a noun. Ally is not a label you can just choose. Being an ally is a process. It's not something to, quote, give you bragging rights. It's not something that, you go, create a banner and put it in your house, so to speak. It lives within you, and it's a process, and it's a constant process. It's not something, I'm going to be an ally on Saturday and Sunday, and then I can go back to be my normal self, on the week. It's not something that you can just label yourself. It's always a process. It continues. I think that's something that we should always keep in mind. And being an ally is not what we call a self-proclaimed identity. It is not something, being in solidarity with others is always something we can strive for. But in the end, it's up to others whether or not they trust us and choose to receive support from us. So, just because we proclaim ourselves an ally doesn't necessarily mean we're automatically, in the eyes of the rest of the world, a true ally. It's by our words and our actions. And let others determine, if we are, if the deeds that we're doing and our actions are worthy of trying to, espouse these issues. It's great to proclaim yourself an ally, and if you feel like you are an ally, you should be very proud of that. But at the end of the day, it's others who will validate it for us, who will help us know, yes, you are contributing, you are trying to make the situation better, you are doing something. Allies educate themselves constantly. And again, you've all heard me say this 1,000 times, probably sick of me hearing this say about it, but, one of the great things about working at the university is that we learn, we educate ourselves. It's what our goal is. It's our product. It's what we sell, So allies, don't just read something And then, okay, I feel like I'm an expert. Think about those who have, in our own field. Look who those who have PhDs and, the best professors on our campus. They spent years of reading and researching and writing. And even when they got their PhD, they didn't just stop with that. That wasn't the be all end all. Now they're publishing, now they're guiding and leading others. They publish more, they read more, they study more. Being an ally is kind of like that. It's a commitment, and it's a lifelong commitment. It's not something that you kind of do in your own little bubble. You can't do it in isolation. You have to be out there trying to, show others, your viewpoint, show others, the things that you read and the things that we talk about, why it really does matter. I'd also like to think that, allies don't need to be in the spotlight. I think, a lot of people, who pride themselves on being allies, and you should feel pride. You really should if you're an ally. But allies, the spotlight, if you're in it for the spotlight, you're in it for the wrong reason. An ally who constantly proclaims himself, oh, I'm the greatest ally there is, and, nobody else is doing anything, I'm doing all the work. Allies don't need the spotlight. Allies are there doing the work because it's the right thing to do, not because they're trying to get praise from other people. If somebody offers you praise, you should graciously accept it and say, well, thank you, I appreciate your kind words, but there's a lot more we can do. Let's try to continue to do more. Allies don't need the spotlight. And I think, another kind of, is allies ever monopolize the emotional energy? I read this recently and I thought this was just a great statement. Allies never monopolize the emotional energy. Being an ally is hard, and you can even personally be marginalized if you're trying to be an ally. But, the pain that something like that could cause, can't even compare to pain that, marginalized groups have had their whole lives and oppressed groups have had their entire lives. So to say that, oh, I'm so exhausted, I'm doing all this, ally work and nobody's appreciating it, you should take a pride in it. You should exert energy, and it is exhausting, and it does require a lot of emotional, pain at times. But at the same time, it can't be used as a substitute for oppressed or marginalized groups, because that's a completely separate kind of emotional drainage and emotional baggage, so to speak. So again, it's great to have emotional energy, but not to monopolize it. And again, not make it about you. Make it about others, and make it about trying to make us a better place, as opposed to trying to take the spotlight for yourself. But I know none of you would do that, of course. But again, just some ideas. These are some things you can talk to family and friends as we get closer to the holidays. So again, if you can send me something that would be very helpful, that's personal for you, I would greatly appreciate it. You're certainly not required to, but I think it would be really cool if we had 100% participation within System HR of all contributing to this little part of our website about what we can do to be allies and what we can do to try to fight racism and try to make us the most diverse and equitable and inclusion HR group we can be. So have a great day, everyone. Again, we're getting really close to the end of the year, but we'll have one more DEI talk next week before the end of the year, and we'll start even having some different approaches on this in 2021. I've got some great ideas that I hope you guys will enjoy. So, yeah, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.